Welcome to Quimbee CLE. Today we're here with attorney Colleen Quinn, who's going to speak with us about ethically safeguarding your practice, both externally and internally. Colleen is the founder of Quinn Law Centers, where she practices personal injury, medical malpractice, employment law, family formation, and estate planning law. In today's program, Colleen is going to teach us what the risks are in everyday operation of a law practice and how to both protect against and mitigate those risks. Welcome, Colleen.
Thank you, Jillian. Happy to be here.
We're
Happy to
so
talk.
excited to have you.
Thank you. Happy to talk about this topic. In my 33 years of practice, a lot of what I'm talking about today comes from kind of oops moments and things I wish I had done differently in my law practice. Including I recently separated from my former law partner and formed my Quinn Law Center. So when we talk about safeguarding your practice, a lot of this is very personal to my own story as we go along. So we're going to kind of launch into this topic. And I just have to tell folks that I am not an IT type person. I have a background on my double major at William & Mary was in English and philosophy. And then, of course, I'm a lawyer. And you mentioned the areas of my practice, none of which are in any sort of technology fields. And so this presentation is not going to get overly complicated. But one thing I have learned is that we have an ethical duty to be aware of evolving technologies. And that is now being required of, lawyers like me that are technically incompetent or are incompetent when it comes to technology. So it's a struggle in many ways, especially folks that are baby boomers like myself that didn't grow up with today's current technology either. So that's kind of my caveat. If I can learn it, so can you. Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is internal. We're going to talk about internal safeguards. And we're going to talk about preventing associate and staff theft. And if we think about vulnerable items in the office, we typically firms have credit cards. There's credit card usage. There's also access to check writing and trust accounts. Access to forms, contracts, questionnaires, system processing type checklists, and other documents that essentially are work product and are developed as part of a lawyer's practice. Our staff and associates have access to our feeder and client and marketing lists, which are things that have been developed and have value. The client files. Access to marketing materials, and access to research memos and briefs. I have one brief. It's a continued contested adoption brief that continues to morph and develop. But a lot of my clients have paid a lot of money that has gone into that brief. It's a valuable document in that regard. So if we think about all the things of value in our office, not just things like the furniture and physical things that, pens or whatever that can be stolen. But if we think about some of the other, like especially intellectual property type stuff, we have things that do need to be safeguarded. And so I encountered in particular credit card theft. I had a paralegal use my firm credit card to run her deadbeat dad side business after she left the firm. So she had been running this business and basically used my credit card to do these, use these search engines to find these deadbeat dads that people were paying her to find. And so what I learned from that, and then after she left, I got this massive bill on my credit card for this business that she was running and did not know about it. And she essentially moved to the other side of the United States. And so, trying to sue her or go against her or whatever. And at that point, it wasn't on an Amex or something where you could dispute the charges. I mean, these were charges she had authorized on my card because I allowed her to use my firm card. And so it's really best not to let your paralegal have credit card information unless you have a really, really trustworthy paralegal. And also, if they're going to have credit card or credit card information, to put a limit, on that, maybe, $500 cap, $250 cap, if they definitely have to have the credit card. So we want to also check your statements regularly so that you know what is, being put on the credit card. And you basically want to let the staff person know that if there's any authorized use, unauthorized use, that that they could potentially be terminated, for anything. So everything needs to be approved in advance if they're going to put it on the credit card.